following is a list of 19 of the most notorious locations haunted by women in white in New York. Number 1. Belhurst Castle and Winery. Constructed in 1889 as a private residence, Belhurst Castle in Geneva, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman in white, whose apparition is allegedly seen by employees and guests. The woman is believed to be the spirit of an opera singer named Isabella, who was killed when part of the castle collapsed. However, this theory is unable to be officially confirmed with historical evidence. Motorists driving by Belhurst Castle have reported witnessing the same woman in white walking in the yard at night, or glimpsing her silhouette in one of the upstairs windows when the location is vacant. Employees working at the bar have also reported experiencing strange paranormal activity, such as cold spots or objects being thrown across the room by an unseen entity. A series of underground tunnels allegedly connecting different areas of the castle are also said to be haunted. Number 2. Boldt Castle. Boldt Castle in Alexandria Bay, New York, was commissioned by a wealthy businessman named George Boldt as a gift to his wife, Louise Carrere Boldt. Construction began in 1900, but the property was abandoned in 1904 when Mrs. Boldt passed away suddenly. Ever since her death, locals report encountering the spirit of a woman in white, whose apparition is often seen walking along the castle grounds at night. Many who visit Boldt Castle report feeling unexplained cold spots, as well as witnessing objects being moved by an unseen entity. Other visitors report hearing the sounds of disembodied footsteps or feeling a strange presence. Number 3. The Bull's Head Inn. Constructed in 1802, the Bull's Head Inn in Cobleskill, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman named Mrs. Stacy, whose apparition is seen late at night wearing a long white gown. According to legend, paranormal activity at the Bull's Head Inn only began once the inn obtained a liquor license and started serving alcohol. Since Mrs. Stacy was a devout member of the Christian Women's Temperance Union and a strong advocate for alcohol prohibition, many believe this to have angered her restless spirit, which allegedly causes mischief at the bar by knocking over glasses and throwing plates or other objects. Number 4. Cedarvale Road. Also known as 13 Curves, Cedarvale Road in Onondaga, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman in white, who according to legend was killed in a car crash on her wedding night. Witnesses who encounter the woman's spirit say she carries a lantern, has eerie, glowing eyes, and is covered in blood. Sometimes referred to as the Ghost Bride of 13 Curves, motorists often report trying to offer the ghostly woman a ride before she mysteriously vanishes, and many also blame the woman for a number of strange car accidents on the road. Pedestrians walking in the area at night also report feeling the presence of an unseen entity or feeling as if they are being watched. Number 5. Durand Eastman Park. Spanning over 975 acres, Durand Eastman Park in Rochester, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman in white, whose apparition is seen wandering different trails and roadways late at night. Known by some as the White Lady, the woman's restless spirit allegedly roams the park searching for her lost daughter, who was murdered. Despite numerous claims of encounters with the Lady in White, her identity is unknown. Number 6. Goodleberg Cemetery. Established in 1811, Goodleberg Cemetery in South Wales, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman in white, whose apparition is allegedly seen by visitors at night. Investigators also report experiencing other paranormal activity, such as cold spots, disembodied voices, and the disembodied sounds of a baby crying. The ghost of a local man named Dr. Albert Speaker is also said to haunt the cemetery, urging trespassers to leave. According to legend, Dr. Speaker once lived in a large house overlooking Goodleberg Cemetery, where he made a living performing illegal abortions. After performing an abortion, he would dispose of the fetal remains somewhere within the cemetery, where it said his spirit now lingers to prevent the living from discovering his wicked secrets. Dr. Speaker allegedly died of a heart attack in 1948 shortly after local police began investigating claims of his illegal activity. However, many believe that he committed suicide to avoid punishment for his crimes. Number 7. Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery. Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery in Frewsburg, New York, was established in the early 1800s as a children's cemetery and is said to be haunted by a number of young children who died in a smallpox outbreak. Visitors also report encountering the spirit of a lady in white, as well as the spirit of a young, mentally handicapped girl who was stoned to death in the cemetery during the 1800s. Many also report witnessing other strange apparitions and orbs at night, as well as feeling a strange presence or hearing disembodied voices, moans, and the sounds of children playing. Number 8. Hollenbeck Cemetery. Visitors at Hollenbeck Cemetery in Ellicott, New York, report encountering the spirit of a woman in white, as well as the spirit of a headless man on horseback. Others report witnessing glowing orbs and hearing the sounds of disembodied voices and children crying. In 1995, several headstones were stolen from the cemetery, which many believe may be the cause of some paranormal activity at this location. In 1996, a memorial was placed by the town of Ellicott commemorating those men and women whose graves were vandalized. Number 9. The Hotel Henry Urban Resort. The Hotel Henry Urban Resort in Buffalo, New York, was constructed in the late 1800s as the Buffalo Psychiatric Center, which treated patients with mental illness until the early 1970s, when it was closed due to claims of abuse and neglect by caretakers. It was also the site of a bloody battlefield during the War of 1812, and is said to be haunted by the spirits of former soldiers and mental patients who died violent and unnatural deaths. Guests at the Hotel Henry often report seeing shadow figures and apparitions, including the spirit of a mysterious lady in white who wanders the hallways late at night. Employees working at night also report hearing strange disembodied voices and sounds, as well as feeling the presence of an unseen entity. Workers remodeling empty areas of the hotel over the years have reported hearing strange, disembodied sounds and experiencing other unexplained paranormal activity, such as sudden cold spots, and tools or other equipment being moved or misplaced by an unseen entity. Number 10. The Landmark Theater. Opened in February of 1928 as Loew's State Theater, the Landmark Theater in Syracuse, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman named Clarissa, who was killed after falling from one of the theater's balconies. Her apparition is seen by employees and guests wearing a long, white dress and is often accompanied by the unexplained scent of lilac perfume. The Landmark Theater was added to the National Register of Historic Places in May of 1977. Number 11. Laurel Grove Cemetery. Established in 1855, Laurel Grove Cemetery in Port Jervis, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a lady in white, whose glowing apparition allegedly appears to passers-by at night. Visitors also report hearing strange, disembodied voices, screams, and unexplained crashes and other sounds. Although many visitors have reported encountering the ghost of the lady in white, the reason for her presence is unknown. Number 12. Long Island Campground. Long Island is a small island located off the coast of Lake George, New York, not to be confused with the more well-known Long Island of New York City. It is said to be haunted by the spirit of a bride and groom who were murdered while spending their honeymoon camping on the island during the 1960s. Campers staying at the site have reported encountering the spirit of a woman wearing a white wedding gown, as well as experiencing other unexplained paranormal activity, such as disembodied voices, cold spots, and feeling the presence of an unseen entity. Number 13. Mount Misery and Sweet Hollow Road. Motorists on Mount Misery Road and Sweet Hollow Road in West Hills, New York, report encountering the spirit of a woman late at night known as the Lady in White. In some instances, drivers pull over to offer the woman a ride before she mysteriously vanishes. Another urban legend claims that during the 1700s, a hospital located in the woods near Sweet Hollow Road burned down, killing a number of patients whose smoldering apparitions are said to appear at night screaming in agony. Even before European settlers arrived in New York in the 1600s, Native American tribes believed the area to be cursed. Number 14. Museum of the Moving Image. Opened in 1988, the Museum of the Moving Image in Astoria is said to be haunted by the spirit of an unidentified woman whose apparition is seen wearing a long white dress. Employees also report hearing the sounds of disembodied voices and footsteps coming from areas that are believed to be empty. One visitor in 2016 reported being alone at the museum shortly before closing when he heard the disembodied sounds of a man's voice close by, which allegedly frightened him so much that he left immediately, never looking back. Although many have reported encountering spirits at the Museum of the Moving Image, the reason for their presence is unknown. Number 15. New Michigan Road. New Michigan Road in Victor, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman in white whose apparition is allegedly seen by motorists late at night. According to legend, she was killed in an accident shortly after being married and searches the site of her death for her lost husband, unaware that she is dead. Pedestrians on New Michigan Road also report feeling sudden cold spots and feeling the presence of an unseen entity. Number 16. Poughkeepsie Rural Cemetery. The Poughkeepsie Rural Cemetery in Poughkeepsie, New York, was established in 1853 and spans over 43 acres. It is said to be haunted by the spirit of a dark-haired woman whose glowing apparition is seen by visitors and passing motorists wearing a long white dress. Visitors at the cemetery have reported witnessing other spectral entities and shadow figures over the years, as well as experiencing strange paranormal phenomena, such as sudden cold spots and feelings of being watched. Number 17. Skene Manor. Constructed in 1874 by a man named Colonel Skene. Skene Manor in Whitehall, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman whose apparition is seen by guests wearing a long Victorian-era gown. The woman is believed by many to be the late wife of Colonel Skene, who allegedly kept the woman's body in a coffin inside the manor after her death so they would never be apart. According to legend, her coffin is still buried or hidden somewhere within the manor. However, these claims are thus far unable to be verified. Skene Manor was added to the National Register of Historic Places in May of 1974 and offers guided tours to the public. Number 18. The Museum of Modern Art. The Museum of Modern Art, sometimes simply referred to as the MoMA, in Manhattan, New York, first opened on November 7, 1929, and is renowned as being one of the largest and most influential art museums in the world. The location is said to be haunted by the spirit of an unidentified woman, sometimes referred to as the Lady in White, and other times simply as the MoMA Ghost. Security guards and other employees working at the Museum of Modern Art at night have reported catching glimpses of the Lady in White, as well as experiencing other unexplained paranormal phenomena, such as lights flickering or turning on and off by themselves, and objects being moved by an unseen entity. Many also report feeling a strange presence or hearing disembodied thuds and other sounds coming from the building's 6th floor, which is strictly off limits to guests and employees. Number 19. Widow Susan Road. Widow Susan Road in Amsterdam, New York, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman named Susan Thomas, who passed away in 1892 after being widowed for over 50 years. Her apparition is often seen wearing a long, white dress by motorists late at night, allegedly searching for her lost husband. Pedestrians walking the road at night also report feeling a strange presence, as if being followed or watched by an unseen entity. In October of 2016, an article was published by a local newspaper called the Daily Gazette, which confirmed the existence of Susan Thomas, as well as many of the claims of locals who have reported witnessing her ghost. That concludes my list of 19 notorious locations haunted by women in white in New York. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit like and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more creepy videos and other content. And if you visited one of these locations, I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. To see my full list of folklore tales and haunted locations in New York, check out the link in the description, and be sure to check out my new book, The Folklore and Haunted Locations Guide, New York, available now on Amazon. To check out more of my creepy videos, click the thumbnails shown on the screen.